Nigerians are the most, we love Nigeria, but we're also the most naturally disparaging people of our nation. Yeah, we are very, very naturally disparaging people. So all this stuff about, yeah, Nigerians finally being honest is like, really? Really?
If you knew what you were made of, then we would save the world.
What's going on, people? Welcome to the King Mono Show. Now this is actually going to be a live reaction. Okay, sometimes obviously what I do on this channel is live reactions, but a lot of the time I've vetted the content already, kind of know what I'm going to be interacting with, and therefore have a rough idea of the kind of things that I'm going to respond to and what I'm going to say. I haven't watched this video. I've watched zero of this video, so everything that happens, anything that occurs on this video is going to be kind of fresh to me. And the reason I'm reacting to it is because essentially I'm probably planning on doing a Detty December. I might have actually done it this year, but it was kind of late notice, so I'm thinking maybe like next December might even spend a month in Nigeria, see how it goes, you know. But I need to watch this first of all, because this video addresses the whole Detty December thing, and I think it's kind of a little bit of a throws a spanner in the works, but I'm interested to see exactly what comes up. So let's check this out and see what's said. It's called Nigerians Finally Being Honest About Nigeria Diaspora Theory. Let me tell you this. If there's one thing that Nigerians know how to be honest about more than anything, it's Nigeria. They have no problem being honest about Nigeria. Nigerians are the most, we love Nigeria, but we're also the most naturally disparaging people of our nation. Yeah, we are very, very naturally disparaging people. So all this stuff about, yeah, Nigerians finally being honest is like, really? Really? Anyway, let's get this underway.
Nigeria is a joke. Like, they're a joke.
Off the rip. I told you.
It's like, Nigeria is so much of a joke, it's not even funny how much Nigeria is a joke.
Everyone is literally always asking.
See, that guy was surrounded by cops. They probably wanted a bribe. No, that's politically incorrect to say, but when you go to Nigeria, just make sure you got a pocket full of bribe money. Otherwise, it's going to be long getting from the airport to wherever it is you're staying.
Asking for money.
2 days ago, there was an accident that happened on the water for a boat coming back from Ilashe that claimed the lives of 6 people.
An hour to 2 hours ago, that was still in flames in the middle of the road. There was no police, there was no ambulance.
In my whole 20 years of living in Nigeria, I've never seen one emergency vehicle in my life. But I can tell you the amount of dead bodies I've seen. The lack of infrastructure can kill somebody. No water, no lights, no road. That's how the average Nigerian is just anyhow. Scatter everything. That's how.
I have to say this, and I know it's going to sound very harsh, but that's very usual for a lot of developing nations as well. I think when you grow up in the West or in the diaspora, you kind of expect, you know, emergency vehicles, this, that, and the other. It's kind of like that in developing nations. It doesn't really work like that. You kind of someone's got to load you to a car and drive you to a hospital, man. That's kind of how it works, you know. Developing nations are very different to developed nations. That's what makes them developing versus developed, you know.
Everybody in that Anthony Joshua, everybody was just screaming because they don't know what to do, just screaming. Like, what?
That video, Anthony Joshua, Anthony. Yes, very important. Anthony Joshua. I think what happened to you? Oh yeah. Anthony Joshua. I got this man. Man, I got it for that.
Like, what? Animals.
And during the few moments that we have,
They're not animals, man. That's not fair. That's not fair. And I know a lot of people can look at the video, it's like, yeah, everyone's screaming. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to just not go there? Do you want them to not help him? Do you want them to not surround the car? Like, there's been an accident. They're there. Some of the people are just there looking. Others literally want to help, and others did literally help him out. Like, what do you expect them to do? You can't call them animals because they're all speaking their native language. That's just disrespectful, man. Come on, man. It wasn't bad, nothing really bad at the crash site. If anything, I think the people there were a net good. It's not that they were blocking emergency services or they made it hard for him. They were there to help, and by and large, most people did help. And maybe, you know, they like I said, they helped the situation more than they harmed it. So just be fair, you know.
Left, we want to have just an off-the-cuff chat between you and me.
2 days ago, there was an accident that happened on the water for a boat coming back from Ilashe that claimed the lives of 6 people. And may God rest their souls, and may God help the families that lost somebody. I was in no way, shape, or form affiliated to Sunday at Ilashe, but because I'm known as somebody that promotes Ilashe and has the beach business Sunday at Ilashe, it has affected me, because even on the day it happened, I received a number of phone calls when it happened. I was on the water that same night. I've not been able to sleep properly the last few days, just thinking over and over about the incident, because we just had Sunday at Ilashe the day before that incident, and even that, we've had about 4 editions this December, meaning we've carried over 250 people to Ilashe every week this December. And to the grace of God, we had no accident, we had nothing happen. Even in this journey of doing Sunday at Ilashe, this is one of the reasons why I said this may be the last Sunday at Ilashe in Lagos for a while, because we've been through these same risks that a lot of people go through, and we're the biggest beach event in Nigeria that carries, again, over 200 300 people to the beach. And this is from a private business, from young people that started it, and you know, we're really looking at the future of it and the risk involved, and we're like, until there are major changes made, which means the government may need to be involved, because it's not to say Ilashe is not a beautiful place. Ilashe is one of the most secret hidden gems that we have in Lagos, Nigeria, because of all the beach houses, because of the beach area. There's so much that can be done at Ilashe that we have been promoting over the years. But then in terms of safety, emergency transport, and that's not just for the water, that's just for anywhere in Nigeria. When it comes to health and safety in Nigeria, it's non-existent. That's why they say that saying, Nigeria can happen to you at any moment. And it's really up to the government to really work on these issues, because there's so many blessed people that are just losing their lives every day, or any of us are just basically sitting on a ticking time bomb because there's no safety measure. So I don't know what's going to happen now. God rest the dead, and I pray there are changes being made. But yeah, it's a crazy way to start the year, but I hope that everybody that has seen this incident, you know, really speaks out more on the kind of changes we need in this country.
I've seen what happened to Anthony Joshua, man. It's a goddamn shame. I used to live in Nigeria between the ages of 11 and 15 when my father had a job out there, and the Ibadan-Lagos Expressway was a common road we used to take. I can 100% say that this wasn't a setup. It was just a lack of infrastructure that Nigeria provides, especially on that specific highway. I remember being 12 years old, and we were driving through with a shuttle bus, and all of a sudden the shuttle bus slows down. My dad grabs my head, he pushes it down, and he says, "Don't look up." We're driving for a little bit. He thinks the coast is clear. He tells me I can lift my head up. The coast is not clear. What I saw was about 12 to 15 freshly burnt bodies laid out all over the road from an oil tanker that had just exploded maybe an hour to 2 hours ago, that was still in flames in the middle of the road. There was no police, there was no ambulance. People were walking by, driving by. Shit, our shuttle bus drove by like nothing happened. And it's a goddamn shame. I don't know how many people die on that highway every single day that's not reported about, because obviously they're not public figures. But man, it's a shame that it had to happen to him in a moment where he's being celebrated. I really hope he can get through that. And yeah.
Can I just say though, I think it's important to be fair about the fact that, once again, and it sounds like I'm coping and I'm not, just as someone who's traveled to various developing countries across the world, that this isn't unique. Even I spent a long time living in Qatar, and even when I just moved there, they had just upgraded their entire kind of like traffic, vehicle infrastructure, their road networks. They just really upgraded them, and they had to really enforce harsh penalties on people for doing things like jumping red lights. I actually accidentally jumped a red light because I didn't know that the green light I was supposed to wait for the green light for right turns only, but I saw the main green light and I moved forward, and I wasn't supposed to. The reason I'm telling you that is because that ended up costing me 6,000 real, which is the equivalent of about £1,100. That one fine cost me £1,100. They weren't playing around. And the reason they did this is because prior to making all of these changes, it was like, wow, I couldn't believe it when I was reading like the handbook, how much of the population died on the road. The road traffic, the combination of people having obviously fast cars and a infantile road traffic network and people who probably weren't even getting proper licenses made for a cocktail of road traffic safety disasters, you know, or the absence of road traffic safety, I should say. So I say all that to say that it's not unique. I just came from Egypt the other day, you know, I'd say to the tail end of the year, last year. And I'm telling you right now, Cairo, I know for a fact that it's a small percentage of those people who have licenses. The roads are stacked. You have dual carriageways with 3 lanes, but you'll have 7 cars side by side. No one looks at the lanes. It's like bumper cars. Everyone's just weaving in and out. I know the road traffic safety in that nation must be horrendous. There must be daily deaths. You know, it's a packed city, 25 million people living on top of one another in a few square miles. And that's the nature of it, you know. That's the nature of it. It's one of those places, and when you get these kind of like I said, these more developing kind of nations, it is unsafe. It's more unsafe. It's not as safe as it is, you know, in Western, more developed nations. You need penalties to be in place on top of, you know, infrastructure investment. You need all of these things to kind of work together within a nation, and when those things are absent, then it's just that's the nature of it. People do unfortunately lose their lives. Not making any justification, it's kind of like putting it out there. It's not as unique to Nigeria as people think it is, you know.
We cure madness with madness.
So I just got back from Detty December.
So respectfully, what was the big deal about that clip? A police officer arguing with a guy getting out of the car. This is kind of like, this is giving me the vibes of that Nigerian self-hate. I get this a lot. I get it a lot from like my family in Nigeria, my uncles, God bless them. But they get to the point where everything that happens in Nigeria is bad and can only happen in Nigeria. It's like, dude, that scene could have been in the UK. Do you think police officers don't argue with people like that and they get out of their car and they're in each other's face? The only place that people pop off and the police pop off and start shooting people is in America. Everywhere else where, you know, the police aren't known to have guns, yeah, people argue back with the police, yeah, and they get in their face. It's no big deal. I didn't see anything drastic there, put it that way.
December, I spent 16 days in Nigeria and it was way too long. But let me tell you what I realized while being there, because I have a lot to say. One, there's no constant Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is like Hunger Games. Service is terrible. Two, they put...
Wi-Fi is like Hunger Games. It's true. You need to have 5G really out there. Forget Wi-Fi, because you lose power too often for a sustained Wi-Fi. Nigeria's power infrastructure is awful. Its actual infrastructure is awful, and that's due to lack of investment, lots of other things, massive corruption, that can't be blamed on outsiders, by the way. Even with all the oil corruption and exploitation of the West, it's inexcusable with the amount that actually does end up going through the treasury, that Nigeria's basic infrastructure is so bad. That is linked to corruption. That there's no two ways about that.
Spice in every single thing. I get it. It's Nigeria, the motherland. But not everybody eats spicy food. I was struggling. I do not eat spicy food. Me and my stomach was going to war. Okay.
I can't help you there, darling. Yeah, you have to learn to. You have to learn to deal with the pepper. We like to, we like the pepper. Everything has a bit of pepper in it, so you'll have to deal with it. I'm sorry.
3. Somebody's always asking you to bless them for Christmas, bless them for New Year. What about me? I want to be blessed. I ain't got no money. I'm here to have a good time. Money has run me dry. Everyone is literally always asking for money. Like always. Bless your auntie. Bless your...
You need your pocket dollars. I did say this earlier. If you go to Nigeria, you want smooth transit, put aside a budget for pocket dollars. So however long it is, maybe you want to put aside just like $100. If you're going to Nigeria for a week, put aside $100. Maybe have it in ones, just there. Yeah, $100 in ones. That's your transit money. Okay, that's gonna get you smoothly. That's not the travel money, by the way. That's not your actual fee that you're paying a taxi. That is your smooth journey from one place to the other. Someone put a tire in the middle of the street to set up a fake little toll. Drop them $1, say move the tire, then move the tire. You're on your way. The police officers pull you over. They start asking you stupid questions. Just take $2, let me, and go. You get out of the airport. Oh, can I take it? No, I don't need to take it. Here's $1. Just leave me alone. You need your pocket dollars. You need your pocket dollars. I'm sorry.
Your uncle, just come here. Come bless. Not gonna lie, they beg a lot for money, and it's actually so annoying. And I'm so happy to be back in America where I am not forced to give. Okay.
I can't even make a justification there. It's very true.
Africa Independent Television.
That's risky. That is risky. Fake money for the Nigeria airport. That's risky. You are running risk there. I wouldn't even play that one.
I think for the very first time, people are seeing why a lot of Nigerians try to escape Nigeria or are actively trying to, they've already escaped. Because Nigeria is a zoo with no laws. Basically just wild animals everywhere. People are just, is held together by dental floss. And I'm saying this because of this whole Anthony Joshua situation. I saw, rest in peace to his friends. Gruesome stuff. But I've seen it so many times. That I'm very desensitized to it. People were in certain comment sections were saying, where is the EMT? Where is in my whole 20 years of living in Nigeria, I've never seen one emergency vehicle in my life. But I can tell you the amount of dead bodies I've seen on the road. There is no emergency. There's no number. What is the number you even call? The only thing we know is 911 because of our proximity to America. We don't have anything. So when we come here, we tell you, you guys think, it's just corruption. Corruption, people can manage corruption. After all, we manage corruption here in the US. The US is very corrupt. But the lack of infrastructure can kill somebody. No water, no lights, no road. If there's no road that is there, people are not even using the road. You see, there are people driving in oncoming traffic. There's no line. The traffic lights are there for suggestions. Maybe red. You can go if it's green. You cannot go if, And then, and because of that whole lack of infrastructure, Nigerians have just learned to just live with it. That's how the average Nigerian is just anyhow. Scatter everything.
And I agree with that. But like I said, it's not as unique as people think it is. There's a lot of places, a lot of places in this world where it's just people just learn to navigate it. I remember actually when I was in Egypt, like I said, I was in Cairo the other day, and a local had to teach me how to cross the road. So he's like, oh no, when you don't cross the road, you don't look, you just walk. I'm seeing 6 cars coming down this like relatively narrow street, just like side by side. If you don't walk, they won't stop. You'll be here all day. And you just got to walk out, and then they're beeping you. I'm just like, I'm gonna get run over. And like, no, you just got to walk. You just got to walk. It was wild. So yeah, I get it.
That's how everybody in that Anthony Joshua, everybody was just screaming because they don't know what to do, just screaming. Like, what? Animals. So that's why the average, they just want to leave. Please, that place is insane. I'm not going back.
Anthony Joshua's situation is really sad because I've been in Nigeria for 3 weeks now, and the first thing you notice when you step foot in this country is the serious lack of infrastructure. It's the airports, it's the roads, it's the emergency response, it's the healthcare. Y'all, it's not just bad over here, it is dangerous. And before you say, oh, it's a third world country, like what do you expect? This excuse does not work for Nigeria because Nigeria has money. Don't let them fool you. You see, when you see how the...
It's a fact. Nigeria's got money. It's a fact. Nigeria's got money. As exploited and as horrible as the situation has been, Nigeria has got money. Nigeria has a super rich class that does not care about the nation. The most selfish bunch of corrupt leaders that you'll ever come across. It's horrible. But Nigeria's got money. She's not lying.
The rich live right next to the poor. This country has money. I've seen entire communities of people sleeping on the side of the road. Because why should there be so many people begging you for money at all hours of the day? As in, it could be 4 a.m. and you're going to meet multiple people that beg you for money because they're just trying to survive. There shouldn't be this level of lawlessness in this country where you can actually do whatever you want to do because you can just bribe the police.
Why were we trying to check into our Airbnb and the Airbnb guy was like, oh, you need to pay extra for the security deposit that we already paid for? We're like, what? Somehow the price magically increased overnight. Okay. As in, we checked in at 2 p.m. 4 p.m. we cannot get in because they don't want to send us the access code because we need to pay more for something we already paid for. Okay. If they can sense that you're foreign, even if they cannot sense that you're foreign, they're gonna try to get as much money out of you as possible. The restaurants, the clubs, my maintenance, my hair, my nails, my lashes, the police. Those police, bro. The amount of time
I could tell that she's Nigerian, even though she's clearly, obviously American and raised in America. She has the kind of I was like, yeah, she can't hide the Niger.
You want to stop somebody on the side of the road. It's better to spend to make that stress go away. Like, I'm already somebody that will pay for convenience, and here you have to pay so that they don't irritate you. Just come with the money.
The fact that we had to have soldiers escort us to our home village in Nigeria shows the state of our country. Nigeria is bleeding with kidnapping rates on the high. We need to be praying for our country and speaking up about it. I actually vlogged the journey a while ago, so come.
The kidnapping is real as well. I've had a friend of mine, his cousin, who I was actually quite cool with. He's still with us, but he got kidnapped, man. They had him for weeks. It was wild. Bandits. That's the thing there, kidnapping and bandits, man. Nigeria's got some sick habits, I'm not gonna lie. And the thing is, people love Nigeria, and I love Nigeria. When you go there, it's a very easy to love place. That's actually where my mum's from, Ilesha. So Ilesha, that's where my mum's family's from. Yeah, but there's a lot. You gotta be about your P's and Q's.
Come with me from Lagos to Ilesha. Everyone knows not to wear camouflage in Nigeria, but when you're rolling with the soldiers, you can get away with anything. We actually didn't sleep the night before, so we were sleep deprived, but we left very early in the morning. There was like 4 different cars joining us, and I happened to be in the van which the soldier was driving. And let me tell you, they were driving fast. Anytime I get on the Nigerian roads, I make sure to pray, because it's actually not a joke at all. The first time...
See, what I do, and this might be just me, but I don't play with that. Particularly... when I'm by myself, but particularly when I'm with my family, I don't play with it. You get these drivers, and I don't know if they feel like they've got something to prove. This is like, you know, obviously related maybe to what happened to AJ and his crew. You know, you get in with these drivers, and they just got something about them where they just want to speed and be unsafe. It's kind of like, this might feel safe to you. You might drive like this all the time, but you're not driving like this when you're driving me. I'll just say no. I don't care what country I'm in. Like, I was in Nice the other day, and the guy took us from, I think it was the guy who was taking us from the airport to our hotel, was just speed. I was like, dude, slow down. Oh no, this is how we drive here, you know, everyone drive. I said, no, I don't care how you drive here. I don't feel safe. You need to slow the hell down. Yeah, you're not gonna have a crash with me and my family inside your car. I don't care. Like, you could feel like everybody feels like they're in complete control until they're not. That's the bottom line. Force people to drive safe. When you're in with these drivers, don't let them treat you just like anyone. Don't just sit there and be a part of it. You're paying them at the end of the day. No one's driving you for free. When I was in St. Vincent the other day, I had to tell the drivers, slow the hell down. No, you're not driving like that with me in the car. Slow down. We don't feel safe. Drive slower. I don't care if it takes you longer. Drive slower. We'll get there later. I don't care. Drive slower. Because when you drive slow, I know I'm going to survive this journey. That's the bottom line.
half of the journey was actually pretty smooth from Lagos to Ibadan. And when we got to Ibadan, we got out to stretch our legs and whatnot. And from this point onwards, the roads were shaky. Felt like we were on a roller coaster and it was almost impossible to fall asleep. But we made it safely by the grace of God.
Anytime there's a conversation about cancelling Detty December,
I love this girl. She's so funny. Well, I forgot her name. I follow her on Instagram. Oh my goodness, she cracks me up. Absolutely cracks me up. I'm gonna try and find her name and put it on the screen. But yeah, she's hilarious.
especially in Nigeria, please involve me. Because I feel like it's not what it used to be. Now, you're talking to someone who hasn't experienced Detty December the way it's advertised, right? Because me, I go to the village to spend time with my grandmother to be chasing fowl. I like it. Because who am I looking for a cyclops? However, even for those who like to travel to the east or wherever they're from, the roads are bad. Then you have to worry about being kidnapped. And then to take a flight, it's super expensive. The average Nigerian cannot afford that. And so what happens is that Lagos just becomes overcrowded because people are coming in from the States and then people are being held hostage because they can't really go home. I saw this video early this morning and it was so beautifully shot. I'm going to tag the creator because they did a good job because they almost tricked me because I was like, oh, look at Lagos. And then I had to remind myself, wait, I know what it's like to sit in that traffic. It's not aesthetical. And I'm even suspecting that video is AI because they were in single file lines. And I said, no, they can never be my Lagos. And the price gouging is absolutely insane. The greed is going to be the downfall of Detty December. I'll tell you that. And don't think for a second these airlines are not watching what we're posting and all these things that we're doing. And they're jacking up the prices, okay? Because it used to be that you could get a ticket $750, $900 if you waited too late. Now people are saying they're paying $3,000, $4,000. Somebody said their aunt paid $12,000. I said $12,000 to go and do what? To sit in economy in a old mama smelly plane, and then you get off a $12,000 economy flight to 3 weeks of stress.
Nigeria is a joke. Like they're a joke. It's like Nigeria is so much of a joke. It's not even funny how much Nigeria is a joke. Like it's so crazy. And you know what's even crazier? I made a video, if y'all scroll down a few weeks ago, and I literally said, as y'all are preparing for Detty December, here are some things that you need to have in place and to do to make sure that you're safe. What did I say? I say make sure that you register yourself with the embassy in which you are a citizen of. So if you was U.S. citizen, you should have told the U.S. embassy in Nigeria that you were there. If you are a British citizen, you should tell the British consulate or whoever the hell embassy in Nigeria that you're there. What happened? This man literally went to Nigeria. Anthony went to Nigeria to go and celebrate his success. And two of his close friends lost their life. Because Nigeria is a joke.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Because Nigeria is a joke. That's why they lost their life. Because there's no reason why a country that arguably has some of the, not even arguably, Nigeria has the most recognized celebrities and talent of all the countries in Africa. It's true. It's true. Nigeria has the most.
That's facts.
Most recognized celebrities as far as Burna Boy, Davido, Wizkid, Ashake, Ira Star,
Thames,
Rema. All of these people are from Nigeria. And I'm not saying nothing about them. I'm saying in terms of how recognized Nigeria is, how much happens in Nigeria, how much is connected to Nigeria. Detty December is currently happening in Nigeria and Ghana specifically. Of course, a lot of the countries in Africa, but Nigeria and Ghana specifically, Detty December is going up. And you all can't use money, common, simple money, to fix the roads on the street, to get infrastructure, to put...
She is speaking facts. I can't even defend. She's speaking facts. It's all facts.
The infrastructure in place to keep people safe, to get quality medical care, to the point where Anthony has to be flown to his country of origin, the UK.
Do you know the opportunity though that this highlights to me? Then the next Nigerian president could really be a hero. I know they're all selfish and they don't care. But Tinubu, I don't expect anything from him. But you know, the president who comes in and actually forsakes some of his own pleasure just for maybe a few months and actually invest in Nigeria's infrastructure. Do you know what a hero you'd be? Do you know how much of a hero you'd be if you sorted out Nigeria's energy and sorted out the roads? And it doesn't even cost. It wouldn't even cost that much comparatively to how much money Nigeria makes in terms of selling its resources, you'd be a hero. You'd be almost like a god. You'd be worshipped. Your name would be in the annals of African history forever. Who's willing to take that up, man? Who's willing to take that? Who's willing to make that happen? Do we have to wait for a Traore, or will a elected Nigerian president decide and say, you know what, I'm gonna make my legacy building this nation back? It can happen, man. It can happen. Surely it can happen. I don't know, man. In fact, you know what, I'm gonna wrap it up there. This has already gone on for quite long. So yeah, I might do a part 2 because I'm about halfway through this video and it's got some more. But that's it for this one. I think it's a bit harsh saying Nigeria is a joke. There's definitely room for improvement, but anyway, that's all I'm talking about today. Peace.
If you know what you